Now, one hesitates in the current climate to make a joke on stage about the Muslims, right? Not for fear of religious reprisals, right? When's that ever hurt anyone? But because of a slightly more slippery anxiety, which is, like, basically, when you do, like, stand-up in a small room, it's like, we're all friends, hooray, and we can make a joke, but you don't really know how a joke's received, and it could be that it's laughed at enthusiastically in a way that you don't understand, and particularly out there, and you don't know who's watching on television. I mean, if it's on telly on Paramount, probably someone horrible, an idiot. This kind of person who's awake at 5 in the morning, who knows what? Could be anyone laughing at this. You don't know. Awful people. And so you don't know. The problem is 84% of people, apparently, of the public, think that political correctness has gone mad. Now, I don't know if it has. People still get killed, don't they, for being the wrong colour or the wrong sexuality or whatever. And what is political correctness? It's an often clumsy negotiation towards a kind of formally inclusive language, and there's all sorts of problems with it, but it's better than what we had before. But 84% of people think political correctness has gone mad, and you don't want one of those people coming up to you after the gig and going, "Well done, mate. Well done, actually, for having a go at the fucking Muslims." Well done, mate. You know, you can't do anything in this country anymore, mate. It's political correctness gone mad. You know, you can't even write racial abuse in excrement on someone's car without the politically correct brigade jumping down your throat. And you don't want those people coming up to you after gigs, because that's Al Murray, the pub landlord's audience. Missing the point and laughing through bared teeth like the dogs they are. Because I'm 40, like I said, I was 40 last week, and I can remember before political correctness. That's why I think it's better. I remember, well, it's better now. When I was 12, there was one Asian kid in our class, and every day when he read the register out for a year, the teacher, instead of using his name, called him the Black Spot every day for a year. The street I grew up in, just south of Birmingham, there was, I remember, 1972, a black family wanted to move in, and all the white families put pressure on the guy not to sell the house. And 6 years previous to that, David Cameron never mentions it, but the Conservative Party won a by-election in Birmingham. And they sent out little kids with leaflets that said, "If you want a nigger for a neighbour, vote Liberal or Labour." And if political correctness has achieved one thing, it's to make the Conservative Party cloak its inherent racism behind more creative language. But on the whole, when people say political correctness has gone mad, I think, well, what do you mean? Unless it's my nan, right? When my nan says to me, "Oh, Stu, that political correctness has gone mad," I go, "Why is that, Nan?" She goes, "Well, I was in the hairdressers yesterday, Stu, and they said to me, 'Would you like a cup of tea, Mrs. Harris?' I said, 'Yes, please.' They said, 'Well, you can have one, but you have to drink it in the waiting area, because we can't have hot liquids at the workstation.'" It's political correctness gone mad, Stu. It's old Red Robbo, Stu. He's saying that we can't have tea anymore, in case it annoys a Pakistani. Basically, there's a whole generation of people who've confused political correctness with health and safety legislation. It's gone mad. They're saying I can't have an electric fire in the bath anymore, Stu. In case queers see it. In the old days, you could get your head and you could submerge it in a vat of boiling acid. And now they go, "No, don't do that. What if Jews see it? Might annoy Jews." You could get your whole family and you could jump in a threshing machine and dance around. All your arms would fly off, and it was fine. And now they go, "No, they've banned Christmas." They've banned Christmas now. On the whole, when people say, I mean, there's a columnist for the Daily Mail, Richard Littlejohn, and he's got two catchphrases. One is, political correctness has gone mad. And the other is, you couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it up. Which is ironic, given that the vast proportion of what he writes is no... And about a year ago, Little John did a whole page on political correctness gone mad. And it's gone to court now, this thing, but it was when there was a serial murderer killing sex workers in East Anglia, and the police and the broadsheets at the time routinely referred to, some of them were teenagers, and the papers would call them women that worked as prostitutes rather than just prostitutes. And Little John did a whole page on how this was political correctness gone mad, and you should call them prostitutes and not women that worked as prostitutes. But it wasn't political correctness gone mad. It was the papers and the police thinking, some of these people are really young, you know, and they have surviving family and friends, and what can we do to cushion this ugly word, prostitute? We'll blanket it in a qualifying phrase, you know. It was a nice thing to do. But for Little John, it wasn't that. It was political correctness gone mad, and they were prostitutes and should be called prostitutes. And one wonders how far Richard Littlejohn would go in his quest for the accurate naming of dead women. Would he go perhaps to a cemetery, under cover of night, armed with a little chisel and a little torch, a chisel and a torch, and he's there at the grave that says, "Here lies Elaine Thompson, age 19, and he's there, amending it. Prostitute. Not a woman who works as a prostitute. A prostitute. P.S. I hate women, obviously. And I'm glad when they die. Yours. Richard Littlejohn. Not someone who works as a cunt.